First up is the Bayh-Dole Award, one of Autumn's signature honorifics given in recognition of the recipient's efforts to foster and promote intellectual property activities on behalf of the university and nonprofit community. The first Bayh-Dole Award was presented back in 1980 to Howard Bremer in recognition for his foundational work in support of what we now know as technology transfer. The winner of this year's Bayh-Dole Award is Dr. Walter J. Copan, who is the Undersecretary of Commerce for Standards and Technology and the Director of NIST until ending his term in January 2021. Dr. Copan's stellar career in technology transfer dates back to his time at Lubrizol, the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, and Brookhaven National Laboratory. He has earned this honor from Autumn due to his tireless leadership over the past 4 years to improve the commercialization of innovations from federally funded research. In his role at NIST, Dr. Copan was responsible for oversight of both the Bayh-Dole and Stevenson-Weidler Acts, which set the guidelines for working with most university and federal laboratory research. Dr. Copan was instrumental in creating the Unleashing American Innovation Initiative, also known as the NIST Return on Investment Green Paper. By now, we all talk about this simply as the Green Paper, a thorough study and evaluation of what drives commercialization of federal research dollars, along with suggestions and new metrics to consider for the future, while always defending and reinforcing the power that Bayh-Dole already has on unleashing innovation. Autumn was invited to be part of the dialogue during the entire process, and we believe the Green Paper will be seen in 20 years' time as a seminal document in the advancement of technology transfer. For these reasons and many others, I'm pleased to award Autumn's 2021 Bayh-Dole Award to Dr. Walt Copan. Walt, the floor is yours.
Thanks so much, Mark. This is a high honor to receive the Bayh-Dole Award from Autumn this year. I'm deeply grateful for this recognition. Over the past 40 years, the Bayh-Dole Act has been transformational for the innovation and competitiveness of the United States, contributing to a better world. Bayh-Dole launched the profession of technology transfer, the passionate stewardship of journeys of innovation from laboratories to global markets. I'm proud to be a member of the Autumn family, working together to advance the practice, the profession, and the policies underpinning tech transfer. Throughout my career, I've been privileged to witness the impacts of Bayh-Dole. As a research leader in industry, I saw how conversations between companies and universities or federal labs were changed through the Bayh-Dole Act. Having clear intellectual property rights, the ability to license exclusively or non-exclusively, creating incentives for invention and innovation, and for building meaningful collaborations between public and private sector partners were foundational. The Bayh-Dole Act stimulated entrepreneurship and accelerated the prominence of startup companies for translation of inventions into tangible market value. I've been on the journey leading and investing in startups many times. The clarity of rights in the Bayh-Dole Act makes even considering these journeys of risk and sacrifice possible. Shortly after Bayh-Dole came into effect, I was working in venture capital with a firm that did the first investments in biotech startups. The Cohen-Boyer patents were among the platform technologies licensed for the industry, and I learned so much by being able to work with the entrepreneurs at Cetus and in Genentech at the very start. While at Brookhaven National Lab, I saw the broad uses of another platform technology, licensing the T7 protein expression system, the inventions of Bill Studier and colleagues. It was a happy coincidence to be inducted as Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors together with Bill Studier in 2018. Thousands of companies and research organizations have used these technologies as a result of well-considered licensing programs that enabled the practical emergence of the biotechnology sector. And there's so many more examples. Licensing, guided by the principles underlying the Bayh-Dole Act, encourages economic growth and creates positive societal impact. I've been privileged to work in government and the public sector, as well as in the private sector, companies large and small, and as investor and entrepreneur. As NIST director, a top priority was to advance American innovation and technology transfer policy for the future. I'm blessed that stewardship for the Bayh-Dole Act was part of my job, central to the mission of NIST with its companion legislation from 1980, the Stevenson-Weidler Act, another pillar of American innovation. We began a journey at the autumn 2018 annual meeting. In a fireside chat with Joe Allen, who's been with the Bayh-Dole Act from the beginning, I described a new initiative called Return on Investment, ROI. As we know, this wasn't about financial returns, but to further American innovation, advancing all of this legislation intended to deliver for the public good, for scientific discovery, and its translation. The ROI initiative launched a nationwide conversation about the importance of tech transfer and innovation. All stakeholders were welcome. Members of Congress are now talking about technology transfer and our nation's ecosystems of entrepreneurship, the central roles of our universities and research institutes. In 2019, NIST published our green paper on unleashing American innovation. This pointed the way to addressing acknowledged legislative and regulatory impediments, policy improvements, increasing public-private engagement and investor access, building a more entrepreneurial workforce, supporting innovative tools and services for tech transfer, and improving benchmarks globally. This is an ongoing journey. Over these past years, it's been a privilege to work with other government leaders, the Federal Science Interagency, and especially with USPTO Director Andre Iancu to strengthen IP and innovation policy. We've enhanced standard essential patent licensing, copywriting software, clarifying the small entity status of licensees. We're modernizing iEdison and other tools, and advancing legislative and regulatory improvements to support and protect Bayh-Dole and Stevenson-Weidler for the future of innovation. Throughout this time, our celebration of the 40th anniversary of Bayh-Dole has raised the positive profile of tech transfer, made even more prominent during the global pandemic. We need to continue communicating the important principles of the Bayh-Dole Act and maintain its integrity and delicate balance. There's more yet to be done. I'm looking forward to the future of Bayh-Dole, and you can be sure I will remain its champion. Again, thank you for this honor. I cherish it. Now, onward.
Congratulations, Walt.